All right. Hey, you guys, welcome to another installment of the Faithful Visionary Project Lecture Series. Today, we are talking about releasing the story. When I was talking with you guys earlier this week on Wednesday, something had come up in one of y'all's shares about the loss of somebody in his life, though not close, lost nonetheless. And I wanted to address that in a way that I've come to understand our relationship with everything, but ultimately with God. And when we are out here living our life, we get lost in the story. We get lost in the 3D. We get lost in the memories. And in doing so, we can find ourselves falling into pain or discomfort, frustration, grief. And that's all well and good because that's all what comes with being human. But I would like to remind y'all that anything that is coming up, good, bad, or indifferent, is actually always an opportunity for you to go home and go to God, or be still and know that I am God. In today's lecture, I'll be quoting Joel Goldsmith in reference to this. And as you're listening, I really want you to just recognize that whatever is going on for you that does not seem to be showing up the way you would like it, remember that there's actually only one power at play. And what seems to be the opposite of it is not actually happening. We'll dive deep into it. It'll be a short lecture today, but I want y'all to just know that it might seem painful, it might seem hard, but that's only because you've lost your connection from God. So let's dive into it. Y'all ready to go? Let's go. So there is no devil. Joel says it's strange how throughout the ages, religious men and women have dedicated their lives to the one purpose of overcoming the devil. And the devil has no power. The devil is nothing except what we decide to make it. You know, when we're coming from this dualistic thinking, wavering mind, looking at the world and we're seeing it's not showing up the way we want it to. Here in this group, I'm fairly certain, I've never really heard anybody in this group really refer to the devil. But we have referred to it's not working. We have referred to why hasn't it shown up yet? We have referred to I can't do that, or I don't have enough to do it, or I won't make it. That's the devil. Because God provides all. And who is God? God is I am. And it's our refusal to accept and believe that I am that creates the pains that we see in the world. See, something is going on the outside and it's really good. Someone's praising us, really well. And we're getting all these awards and accolades and this and the other. And then we're thinking to ourselves, oh, how awesome I am. This is great. Look at all this proof of how great I am. And then the minute that the rug is pulled from under you, or someone makes fun of you, or someone rejects you or says you can't have it or whatever, boom, we get shot down to a completely different state of mind where it's just like, man, none of this works. This is all BS. I'm unhappy. Screw this world. I'm depressed now, and so on and so forth. And that is the devil. The devil is the belief in external causes for your happiness or your sadness or your anger or your frustrations. There's nothing to actually overcome. There's nothing to um, there's nothing to battle, because we're free. We're absolute. We're one with God. And if you really thought about it, God has no enemies. How could he? And I know what that sounds like to the rational mind. Of course. Look at what's going on. Is it should Hamas be doing what Hamas is doing? Should Israel be doing what Israel's doing? What about the Palestinians? What about them? What about the Patriots? What about the Black Lives Matters? What about all the seeming warring factions that are out there that only keep us more ingrained in what is happening out here in this world, what keeps us more and more imprisoned? But what's his name? Bob Marley, who was quoting Marcus Garvey, would say, have no fear. None of them can stop the time. Free yourself from mental slavery. So don't be enslaved by the seeming appearances on the outside, you guys, because there is no devil. It only appears to be. And it appears to be because of the meaning that we are making. There's Joel Goldsmith, he'll say, there's only one reason for discords or inharmonies of any nature. And that reason is a false sense of I. The correct sense of I would eliminate every problem from the face of the earth, personal, family, community, national, international. There's only one error on the entire earth, and that is a false interpretation or a false sense of I. So when you see that seeming problem or you have that seeming loss, right there alone, you are admitting that you have a false sense of who you actually are. This world on the outside, it's ever changing. It's changing like the flickering of this candle. Never still, always moving, always volatile, always uncertain. But like the wick of this fire, there's a stillness within it, just like there's a stillness within you. And if you have your attention on the flame, and not the flame of your heart, but the flame of what's going on the outside, you will be moved by the winds of change. Like right now, I'm witnessing friends of mine that are just being moved left and right by the chaos that is this psychological war that's happening right now, where you can't tell facts from fiction. One, like a year ago they would have been supporting this group, but now they're supporting that group because the messages that are coming through them are having them make meaning, and thusly having a false sense of themselves. The true sense of you is God, which is pure perfection, which is pure love, which is pure, unadulterated stillness. And you get to be the peace in the midst of the chaos if you know who I am. So if we are to quote unquote eliminate problems, we need to recognize that there is no problem, and that the problem that seems to be is an illusion and an opportunity for me to recognize my true source and my true being. So how do we go about that? How do we really nail this and truly understand that, wait a minute here, I'm not what it seems to be out there. I'm abundant, I'm rich, I'm powerful. How do we do that? Take your attention from the physical senses as often as possible. And as a matter of fact, start to learn to live within that stillness all the time and dwell therein. Continuing with Joel, he'll say, what we behold with our five physical senses is but the human or limited concept of that which actually is there. Even a good or healthy appearance is but a false sense of identity. Or I should say, a false sense of reality. We can never see or hear God's creation with the material senses. But with spiritual sense, we can discern the man and universe of God's unfoldment of its own being, which is interpreted as creation. The world does not accept the revelation or the truth of one power. The world gives power to climate, germs, food, stars, and countless other effects, but no effect of itself is or has power. Consciousness, life, and truth is the power unto every effect. So, I know I'm referring to this because part of the project I'm working on right now is to actually like plant some seeds of peace and love and understanding into my social media feed, because I'm I'm just seeing a lot of people being bogged down by what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on in the country, that I was like, you know what, let me go plant some seeds. So this is why this is such a big topic for me, because if we could only recognize that the peace that we hold within ourselves has to reflect itself, people will have to match to that state of consciousness no matter what. And if you're holding on to that state of consciousness of peace and abundance and pure perfection, the people around us will have no choice but to match it. And if they embrace that and dwell in that, that goes on and moves forward into the next people that they touch. But add to that, the good things that appear to be, we aren't that either, because even that is a limitation to who we truly are and who we truly, what we are capable of. We are free. We are free, y'all. And it's okay if the world doesn't accept this. They will, because it's the truth of who they are. So, what's going on, if I'm remembering the timeline correctly, a group of people, the folks of Hamas, came down into Israel, the country of Israel, or Gaza, Israel, and attacked and did whatever they did. They did some seeming things on the physical world, did some quote unquote atrocities in the world. And they did that because they thought that they are being victimized by what was going on in the country that they lived in, or the country that they didn't like. And what was the retaliation to that was they got attacked. And not even just them, the people that they were supposedly protecting got attacked. And now you have other countries wanting to get themselves involved, and they're going to keep attacking. And it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds until one person in that group of chaos that's going on says, no more. We don't need to do this. But it perpetuates, because the world gives power to something outside of themselves. Thusly, we have tyranny, because the ultimate tyranny is the belief in external powers. Oh, it's their fault, so I have to retaliate. That's not peaceful. Oh, but Jerry, You're telling me that I need to be at peace even though this person's attacking me or doing this? What I'm saying is they are reflecting what you are holding onto in consciousness. Good, bad, or indifferent, whether you like it or not. I can't remember the quote right now off the top of my head, but I'm remembering that a country only, excuse me, a country only um wages war on another country because of economic reasons. Basically, they want to rule over or have control over another people because what they're doing within their own country is tyrannizing and destroying their own people. And so it's just back and forth, back and forth. And another thing is, you know, the people, and by the way, I'm speaking on the grander scale, like national and international conflict, but I'm really talking about you. Think about the wars that are going on within you as I speak about these things. But here, and on the national or international level, a country is at war within itself, and it can't deal with that war within itself, so it takes it outside and tries to rule over others, which only reflects its heavy-handed rule over its own people. But when a country is at peace, it doesn't attack other people, and its people flourish and do well within the country. So how is that on you? How does that affect in your life? You know, your spouse, your colleagues, your children. Where is it that you're finding that war, and how are you perpetuating that war externally to yourself? Can you witness that? Because all that you behold, though it appears without, it is within your own imagination, in which this world of mortality is but a shadow. Well, we need to behold peace, because peace is presence. Peace is now. There is nothing but now. You think you need to go and fix something. You need to go force yourself to take on tasks or do things that you don't want to do, but you have to, you should do, and all that stuff. Only creating more of that war, more of that going along to get along, more of that lying to yourself and others, because you aren't in present peace right here, right now. So as Joel would say, he says, there is no use looking outside and wondering in what form that peace will come, because it does not come in a worldly form. Strangely enough, however, when the inner peace comes, it forms and reforms our outer life. It changes our relationships with other human beings. It changes the nature and the amount of our supply, because it is its function, capital I, its function, to see that we are fed and clothed abundantly. All things will be added unto us, but they will not be added by taking thought for the things. Relinquish thought of things, turn within and admit me, and me being I am. So this ever-present peace is here. It's with us now. But we only need recognize it. We don't need to actually try to put thought, oh, what is it going to be? What are we going to do? And all this type of stuff. No, we recognize that we are already it. We are already peace. We are already abundant. We already have the things. But what happens? What happens? We sit down in that meditation and our mind goes, yeah, but it can't be that easy. You are not deserving of this. You can't do that. And the war persists. Why? Because you're in a state of war. So right now, as you're listening to me, can you just take on the state of peace? Can you take on the idea that, no, I'm fed, I'm clothed, I'm highly paid, I'm of service, and just know that to be true? Because God provides all, and I don't need to use my rational, logical mind to even figure out how. Why would I try to figure out something that I already am? Why would I search for who I am? How can you search for that which you already have? And if you truly are God, or at least one with God, don't you have all things? So what are you looking for? Everything that we're seeing out there is but an error. It's just a proof that we are disconnected from God. Oh, I got to get there. I got to do this. I got to do that. Anxiety and frustration is only more proof that you are separate from I am. And when I say I am, of course, I'm speaking of the Father, right? I and my Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. A rational mind can't devise the way. So there's no point in bothering. It's all about recognition that you already are the person. You are already free. You are already wealthy. You are already healthy. You are already wise. You are already loving. You are already peaceful. And there's nothing outside of you that could ever prove it, even if it seemed like it was proving it. Because everything, like I said before, is fleeting and changes and grows and falls, or I should say rises and falls, comes and goes, is born and eventually dies. That's how this outside world works. But the essence of all those things that I pointed out is one being that's within you. And it's your refusal to recognize it that persists the things that you don't want to be a part of. So in this presentation, I'm going to pause the recording here. I want to use the next 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, we'll see, to just sit in pure recognition that I am all the God qualities right here, right now. And as the thoughts pass through your mind as we sit in this meditation, just allow them to be there and notice how they move out of the way, just like a flickering of a candlelight. Use this opportunity. I know you're driving, Sierra, but try it anyways. To just sit in the presence of God. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to make anything happen. I know that what you want seems so impossible, but you're only thinking in error. God has already provided. So I'm going to set my timer for about 10 minutes. And again, use this opportunity to get to know yourself. If there are no questions, that is also fine.
I was just going to say that I'm glad you brought this particular topic up because I had wondered in what way were we contributing, you know, from within to what's happening in our world. And this meditation is just beautiful. Thank you. Because I see where I'm having my own inner, I guess, I don't know if I want to say it's conflict, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems as though there's this conflict happening outside, right, Paula?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in just sitting in that meditation, you see where the conflict actually is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that the conflict's not even real.
True, because I'm the only, it's my thoughts that's making it real.
Correct. Thinking that makes it so. The whole thing, man. It's wild when you think about it. And I get it, to the rational mind, it's like, no, there's things I got to do. I have to change this. I have to fix this. I mean, right? I mean, we go to work, we have to pick up our piece of paper and sign our name on it and then send it in, right? Right? I mean, there's things we have to do in this physical world. No, the Father is doing it. And if we let him do it, we see that there would be no war in any of the activities that we have to do in this world. That seeming other, the truth of who they are, is the truth of who we are. And if we can be with them with pure understanding, whoever it is that you're at war with, within yourself, and truly release and let go of those things that don't belong, you'll see how much way more power you have, more capacity to express the power that's within you and help transmute what seems to be a war on the outside. How are you doing, Robert? Hmm. Right.
So it was an interesting meditation. I call it meditation because uh, I just had to let thoughts pass by, you know?
Correct.
It was an interesting meditation because, it brought up, remember you were telling me the last week or the week before, whenever we spoke, that I need to speak up. And I have been speaking up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny, I'm speaking up and a lot of things are clearing up. Um, not with a specific person, but just overall, things that I would sit there and brew about. Somebody owes me money and I'm like, dude, I got things to take care of, and I message him, hey, we have an agreement, can you send me my money, rather than sit there going, oh, Jerry don't want to pay me my money. I go, hey, we had this agreement, I need, that's one of the examples. And now I came out of the meditation, and for about a year, there was an issue that was occurring with this person, another person, and the dance world has all this drama, and it's kind of sad because if you shut up, then you just sit there and you end up causing more drama because you talk a lot, all this yap 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 yap, rather than speaking to the person specifically. So I came out and I saw a couple notifications from somebody that I just kind of was like, I don't want to deal with this, so I just stepped away. And they're like, hey, you haven't spoke to me in like over a year. What's the issue? And I was like, oh, you don't know the issue? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, let me remind you, this happened and whatever. Oh, I didn't know you felt this way. So I gave him 2 sentences and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. And I was just like, wow, the power of, being, stepping into your I am. So it's, and not without being rude, just like you said, caught peace, and there's this piece that I know, like, kind of like, wow, I've been holding on to this for like a year. Like, this person started beef, and now I come out of the meditation. I was a little irritated, and now I'm back to peace again because I spoke up, and they were like, "Oh yes, we were wrong," you know.
Yeah, makes complete sense. When we're at war within ourselves, we can't, there's no capacity to even be with another person, right? We can't make requests when we're in a place of war. It only causes more frustration. We can't do our work when we're at war. It just causes more frustration. Our friendships don't thrive when we're at war. But when we're at peace, there's clarity. There's a need for seeking understanding of the other person as opposed to needing to be understood yourself. There's a curiosity and a play. There might be even direct action that you need to take and be like, no, you owe me money, but you come from a place of peace as opposed to a place of desperation or a place of hurt. Very good job, Robert.
Thank you.
Remember, you guys, there's only one power. It's God.
I've been listening to your meditation, not your meditation, your talks daily too, and it's almost like a reminder, because I'm not a big reader, so hearing it's almost like hey Robert, are you it's up like in the back of my mind, I can hear your voice going, are you stepping into your truth? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've been, and um I'm trying to make it more of a habit to do the meditations, the 2-minute meditations. Because I think if I allow myself, my mind will take over and it will be best.
Mm. It's very simple, isn't it? Just to take the time and just get in practice and don't be looking for results. The results are here. Don't worry about that. Our only job is to let go, let God, and just trust that that desire on our heart is already provided. The fact that you're desiring it and you're constantly wanting it is more proof that you aren't one with the power and wisdom of God. So I'm gonna leave it there, you guys. I'm feeling very full right now. And I trust that the message today was impactful for you as well.
Yeah. It was it's so funny. Piece the story was what I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
My pleasure. All right, you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Y'all have a good it's the beginning of the holiday season, isn't it? Halloween weekend. And I hope y'all have some delicious candy and get to hang out with some awesome friends this weekend and enjoy yourself. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Peace and hair grease.
Have a good weekend. Bye.